Hello everyone. Today we are going to continue proof. So we are going to talk about triangle congruency criterion, 5 of them, understanding some vocabulary first. There's a similarities and congruency. There's difference about it. So similarity would be same shape but different size. Some will be small, some is big. You can see the left side that is equilateral triangle, and all equilateral triangle are similar because there's all 3 sides are equal and all 3 angles are 60 degrees each. You can see small one and big one different size, but they are called similarities. Congruent would be exact the same shape, same size, same angle, everything's the same. So we were talking about in class that I use a $5 bills as example. So for example, I have $5 and you have $5. We only say that we have the same amount of money, but we cannot say that we're congruent amount of money. If it's congruent, means the dollar bill have to be exactly. The face have to be exactly. The number of the $5 bills have to be exact the same. Everything have to be exact the same. That is congruent mean. So we have the 5 triangle congruency criterion. The first one is side. 3 sides are congruent. So you can see the right triangle here. Okay, those 2 triangles, you see these 2 sides are congruent, these 2 sides are congruent, and those 2 sides are congruent. So side. Next one, we have side. So the angle is between the 2 sides. So these 2 sides are congruent, the 2 angles are congruent, and these 2 sides are congruent. So this one be side. And remember, the angle must be right between the 2 sides. The next one, we have angle. So the size is in between the 2 angles. These 2 angles are congruent in the triangle, and these 2 sides are congruent. And these 2 angles are congruent. So we have angle. Next one, we have angle. So the 2 angles must be together. Look, there's no side in between the 2 angles. So we have angle, these 2 angles are congruent, and these 2 angles are congruent, and then side. There's no side in between, so we have to say side. Some student will ask, can that be side angle? Yes, it can be side angle, depending on how you read it. The last one is HL. We don't see this one very often, but you still need to know it. This one looks like an angle side, right? But you cannot say it's angle side because angle side doesn't work. HL means hypotenuse leg. Hypotenuse is right here. HYP, okay, the longest side of the right triangle. Okay, very important to say that must be in a right triangle. It's the longest side of the right triangle. If you don't see the right triangle, like the top one, okay, there's no right triangle here. The first 4 cannot be hypotenuse. Okay, and leg is here, LEG. One of the leg, this one can be the leg also, but one of the leg are congruent, so these 2 legs are congruent, and the hypotenuse are also congruent, and must be in the right triangle here. Can that be angle side? Angle side cannot be. Now we have to determine the triangle congruency criteria to use to prove the 2 triangles are congruent. So what we mean is triangle ACD and triangle ABD. How do we prove these 2 triangles are congruent? By using the 5 triangle congruency, angle side, angle side, and HL. So first, let's read the question. They are giving to us AC is congruent with AB. So we're going to write that down. Please write that down, copy it down. AC is congruent with AB. CB is given to us already, and that is a side. That is not an angle. Next one, read the question here. AD bisect BC. So what's bisect mean? We've been talking about that many times. Cut in two equal parts. So cutting what into two equal parts? Cutting the BC. You see AD cutting the BC into two equal parts. That's how you read it. So that means AD is cutting BC. The BC is being cut into two equal parts here. So that means CD is congruent with DB. So you know write it down. CD congruent with DB. And that is another side. Right, so we have two sides already. We need one more thing. How do I know we need one more thing? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It cannot be HL. HL only work in a right triangle. And it doesn't say this is a right angle here or this is a right angle. So we cannot assume there's a right triangle here. What if the third information we need? So side and side. This one's side and side. There are two sides. This one have two angles, so cannot be this one. Well, we just say cannot be HL. Side and side, well, maybe we need to find one more side. Angle, side. There's two angle. No, we have two sides, so it cannot be this one. So now we cross out three of them already. Which one do you think? Look at the picture carefully. Pause the video and think about it. Just look at the picture. We have one side here. We have one side here. We need one more side. We need one more information. We are collecting evidence. Okay, look over here will be AD. Do you see the two triangles are sharing the same common side AD? So AD is congruent with AD. That is another side. When we're writing proof, that will be reflexive properties. So looking at this, we have one side, two side, and the third side. So which triangle criterion will be side, side, side? Side, side, side. Okay? Okay, number two. So for number two, we're going to prove that these two triangles are congruent. Triangle ADB is congruent with triangle CBD. When you're reading the letters, each of them have to be corresponding to each other. Okay, A and C is corresponding, and B is corresponding to B, D is corresponding to D. So when you say it, it should be triangle ABD is congruent with triangle CBD. BD is perpendicular. Here's a vocabulary. Perpendicular. What's perpendicular mean? Making a what degree angle? We've been talking about before. Perpendicular. This is symbol for perpendicular. Making a 90-degree angle. Okay. So BD is perpendicular bisector. Okay, we'll talk about bisector later. Perpendicular to AC first. So BD perpendicular to AC, that means making a 90-degree angle here. Okay, I put a square over there, a box over there. Right, that means that angles are 90 degree. And that is angle. You can label it this way. We just put one is fine. So we're gonna label it angle 1 and angle 2. Okay, if you want, you can write angle ADB and angle CBD. Okay, and we can write this one also. Angle 1 is equal to angle 2 is equal to 90 degree. Okay, that's one given information. Next one, bisector. We talked about it here already. Cut in half. Cutting what in half? Cutting the one behind. Cutting the AC in half. So that means this equal to this. AD is congruent with DC. We'll write that down. AD is congruent with DC. And that is a side. Oh, the first one's angle. The second one is a side. So label it on your picture also. And once again, we can see which one is it. Oh, people say that, oh, this is a right angle. Can that be HL? Hypotenuse neck, okay? The hypotenuse, the longest side in the right triangle is AB and CB. That's the longest side of this right triangle. They didn't say these two sides are congruent, so we cannot use HL. Okay, so once again, we need to find three things for the others. Four. We have angle and side. We have angle and side, looks like it. We have angle and side, looks like it. Side, 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 no, we have one angle already, so cannot be like this. Cannot be side, side, side. So angle, angle, side, we need to find one more angle. Possible? Okay. So now looking at the picture, we have a side, we have the angle already, and we need one more thing. The two triangles are sharing the same side, DB. So DB is congruent with DB. That is a side. So here I'll just label it. How do we write that? When people say that, am I going to write angle side side? Be careful. Angle side side is log one of the triangle congruency criteria. It cannot be this one, cannot be angle angle side, and it cannot be angle side angle. There's only one angle. Okay, so yes, it should be side angle side. How do I know it also? Based looking at the picture. Okay, this is side, and the angle is in between the two sides. So side, angle, side. The angle's in between the two sides. That's it. We decided. Side, angle, side. I hope this video will be helping you to understand the five triangles congruency criteria. Please rewatch this video a couple more times to help you better understanding, and especially understanding this picture. Very important. Angle, 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 and angle side side or side side angle doesn't work. Okay, so I usually like in class I joke around this. Okay, what doesn't work? Okay, remember triple A, the battery doesn't work, and S doesn't work. Okay, triple A and S doesn't work. Remember that. Okay, make sure you finish copy this. Okay, have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.